I have a 2005 Chevy Cobalt, and the customer's complaint is the ABS is kicking on. So I did a code scan, and I found the left front ABS channel release fault, code C0220. I'm going to show you exactly what that means and what's going on with the wheel speed sensors. Okay, so I pulled up the data, and here are all my different wheel speeds. So I'm going to open these up and turn them into graphs. Okay, so I have all my wheel speeds set there. And now I'm guessing that the left front is going to have a glitch because that's the side that the code's set for. So when we start moving here, you can see how all the wheels moved and the left front wheel stayed at 0. Okay, kicked in at 4 miles an hour. So if I stay below 3, it doesn't show any activity. So let me drive it and I'll get a little bit better video of it. So if you listen closely, you'll actually hear the ABS kick in too. Not sure if you picked up on it, but it goes mrrr, and the brake pedal starts to pulsate back at you. Okay, so I'm gonna drive in a perfectly straight line here. And you can see the 3 sensors come up, and then all of a sudden, that 4th sensor still at 0, and right there it hits 4 miles an hour and it comes alive. So what's happening here is when I go to stop, and I'll stop really slow here, that straight down drop, instead of the stepping down as it slows down, tells the computer that the wheel locked up, even though it obviously didn't because we're traveling at 4 miles an hour. So it won't set a wheel speed code. There's a perfect example. 4 to 0, 4 to 0, 4 to 0. And all the other ones are straight 4 miles an hour. So that's what's setting our code. I'll show you what it's going to take to fix it. So I got the car up on the hoist here and I got the wheel pulled off. And I'm going to show you what happens here. This sensor, these 2 wires, run down to, I don't know how well I can see it back here, a sensor that's in the back of the wheel bearing. What happens is rust gets behind the sensor and causes the air gap to increase, which is what usually causes the glitches and the dropouts on these GMs. Sometimes you can actually take and remove the sensor and clean it and put it back in. On this particular instance, this wheel bearing and sensor are one piece. There's no way to fix it essentially except for to replace it. Here's the new bearing, and as you can see, the sensor and the bearing are one piece, and this is not supposed to come apart. The old bearing, you can actually see each one of these little fingers is what the sensor reads off of to calculate the wheel moving. Rust, basically the metal rusted away and started to get thinner, which created a larger gap between the sensor and the ring, and that's what causes the dropouts. You can actually see the rust from the ring has stuck itself to the magnetic sensor. So this is a magnetic pickup that actually reads each one of these little fingers as it goes past, and that's how it can accurately calculate the speed of the wheel to determine if the brakes have locked the tire up and it has to release or not. So what I'll go ahead and do here is get this pounded out of here because the aluminum has actually swelled up and seized the sensor right to the hub. And that's why it came off in 2 pieces. So we'll get that pulled out of there and get this replaced. Okay, so screen's a little bit cleaner too. I wiped that off. It's still got a glare. But here I am going straight. As you'll see, the sensor will look like a set of stairs as I increase speed. And all of them will be even. And the same thing as I come to a stop, they'll step all the way down until we stop. So just took it for a long drive and had no ABS activation, and I can see it's fixed on the scanner. So this car is done.